gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to Overtime. This is Maricel Casino Rivera, and it's Friday today, but we have a very interesting topic. Let me welcome Attorney Oscar Oca Moreno, sir.
Aisel, salamat. Mayong hapon, good afternoon, and mayong hapon sa tanan, good afternoon everyone. And this afternoon, we have a topic that is very important and of course, life-changing. And I would even add, it is life-changing not only to the individuals, but also to the community. And it's very important for us to explore the nuances, the norms, the protocols, water district, for us to better appreciate and not only better appreciate, but of course to also be engaged, because the life of a water district is truly a reflection of the life of the community. So, Sel, please do the honor of introducing. Dako atong pasalamat sa atong guest, very experienced and very knowledgeable in water districts. Sel, please do the honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, our guest this afternoon finished his Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering at the Cebu Institute of Technology and proceeded to his Master's of Business Administration and Business Administration and Management and General Management of Business Administration at Xavier University, and also had his Doctor of Public Administration also at Xavier University. He was previously the Assistant General Manager of Cagayan de Oro Water District, but retired last year, sir, no?
Yeah.
Retired last year as the General Manager of the Cagayan de Oro City Water District. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Engineer Bienvenido Batar Jr. Sir, good afternoon. Welcome to Overtime.
Salamat, Sel, and it's my pleasure, of course, to be here with Attorney Oscar Moreno and Sel. And I'm certainly very glad to be able to come to this program after almost a year of retirement. It's certainly a great pleasure to dwell on this topic, the basics of water districts in the Philippines. So,
Yeah,
to all the viewers of this program, thank you very much and good afternoon.
Yeah. Salamat kayo. Engineer Jong, anad mo ko sa iya gudong Jong, no? And thank you very much, no, for accepting our invitation. And ibalo ako, Sel, Jong, medyo controversial karon ang tubig, ang issue sa tubig, no? But I want this emphasized. Gi-invite na to si Engineer Jong not to address the controversy, but for us to better understand the nuances water district, no, the operations and the normal problems and the normal solutions, and for us to understand better how to look at things pertaining to water districts. Okay, I know nga ang water districts are unique. First introduced in the 70s, pero now after almost 70 years, daghan pagyapon. Daghan pagyapon ang wala kayo makasabot sa water districts, no?
It works.
Yeah, a decree was issued by then President Marcos, May 25, 1973. And karon 2024 na, well, 50 years. 51 years, in fact. Doon na mag 51 years after the issuance of the decree, no? And still, a lot of us need to be educated, no, need to realize na adening water district unsa bay mga norms ni. Now, let me go back, Engineer Jong. Before 73, kay ang 73, ang PD 198 mo may nag-allow sa formation of water districts. Now, let me read the preamble cell, no? Kay importante kay ni for us to really appreciate unsa bay sa uno na that time sa kini. Whereas one of the prerequisites to the orderly and well-balanced growth of urban areas is an effective system of local utilities, the absence of which is recognized as a deterrent to economic growth, a hazard to public health, and an irritant to the spirit and well-being of the citizenry. Whereas domestic water systems and sanitary sewers are two of the most basic and essential elements of local utility system, which, with a few exceptions, do not exist in provincial areas in the Philippines. Whereas existing domestic water utilities are not meeting the needs of the communities they serve, water quality is unsatisfactory, pressure is inadequate, and reliability of service is poor. In fact, many persons receive no piped water service whatsoever. Whereas conditions of service continue to worsen for two apparent reasons. Kinisela, conditions of service continue to worsen for two apparent reasons. Namely, one, that the key element of existing systems are deteriorating faster than they are being maintained or replaced. And two, that they are not being expanded at a rate sufficient to match population growth. Morning mga premises, no, sa mga preamble cell. And precisely, the national government allowed local water systems to incorporate, to become a water district. Would you like to explain that, Engineer Jong?
Let me go back to before 1973, sir. Before 1973, for example, as a specific scenario, in Cagayan de Oro, the water utility was operated by the city government. Before that, it was operated by NAWASA, which certainly is why PD 198 was enacted in the first place. The water distribution system is dilapidated at that time. It did not extend beyond the poblacion, for example. It had very low reliability in terms of water quality. And, of course, aside from the water pressure, water quality is one other thing that is important. Okay, when the water district was formulated, it was by virtue of PD 198, and it started with a Sangguniang Panglungsod resolution forming the water district. So, in effect, the law that was the basis for the creation of the water district was PD 198, but it was sort of used by the city council then, and they enacted the Sangguniang resolution creating the water district. So the intention was to improve the status of water service in Cagayan de Oro, and actually the major player there, aside from the city council, is the local water utilities administration, which provided technical, financial, and even engineering assistance to the water district. At that time, the city council saw it fit to make or to create the water district because they saw that government by itself cannot really manage efficiently a water utility given the competing
Yeah.
and overlapping, I should say, problems and responsibilities of the local government. So there is health, there is roads, traffic, sanitation, and many other problems related to governing a city. If you add water into the equation, then it, well, PD1, I should say, is a way to sort of ease the burdens that are put on a local government unit. Much like
Yeah.
electric power, for example, is not within the ambit of the local government.
That's right. Oo. Yeah. Kuha ka na, itong isulti ni Engineer Jong, no? Formation of district under Section 6. To form a district, this act is a source of authorization and power to form and maintain a district. Once formed, a district is subject to the provisions of this act and not under the jurisdiction of any political subdivision. No? To form a district, the legislative body of any city, municipality, or province shall enact a resolution containing the following. So, katong ni Engineer Jong, it is the resolution that gives birth to the water district. Although the administration, the LUA, is the issuance of the registration by LUA is the operative act that gives it the juridical personality. No? Pero ang nag-create gid ana ang legislative enactment. Yeah. Kay ko ang kini, no? So ang water district is supposed to be ang assets niya actually are katong ang gikan sa water system
of the local government.
So gitransfer ka na nga assets dito sa water district. So na transfer of ownership.
Yeah.
Ang question karon is, so nawala na ang ownership sa LGU in the assets. Now, what then is the relationship between the LGU and the water district? Does the LGU own the water district? No, na ang kuan siguro diha.
Yeah. In effect, no, it does not own the water district because the water district, by the nature of PD 198, is independent.
Correct.
It is free from all political subdivisions of the government, and so essentially it's a government-owned and controlled corporation, independent of any political subdivision of the Philippine government. So, but then one other provision in PD 198 recognizes the stake of the local government in a water district.
Yeah.
When it comes to the term of when it comes to the governing board of a water district, for example. So a governing board of the board of directors of a local water district is appointed, the members of which are appointees of the local chief executive. Sometimes there are water districts that are well, for lack of a better term, as far as appointments of board of directors is controlled by either the province or the municipality or a city, for example, depending on.
So they recommend.
No, they appoint.
They appoint.
They appoint.
naikwan na sel na provisions sa I don't know if bao pagyapon ni ang in place appointing authority. The person empowered to appoint the members of the board of directors of a local water district depending upon the geographic coverage and population makeup of the particular district. In the event that more than 75% of the total active water service connections of a local water district are within the boundary of any city or municipality, the appointing authority shall be the mayor of that city or municipality, as the case may be. Otherwise, the appointing power shall be the governor of the province within which the district is located. If portions of more than one province are included, kaning overlap, kay ang water district is not confined to the territorial jurisdiction of the LGU. O na, so,
Cagayan ra.
it's, dili, pwede ka na, ang water district can cover other LGUs or portions thereof outside of the city or municipality where that water district is principally based. Ang Cagayan River, pwedeng i-appeal ang Upol, Taguluan, etc. No? Muning koan, kay ibang panahon gani, ang sa Manila, lugar, daghan, ang MWSS, the entire metropolitan area.
Yeah.
No, so it's not limited, although ang MWSS was was established as a water district or created by decree na
It's
siya.
created by a separate law, sir. WSS was created primarily for Metro Manila.
Yeah, katong MMDA sad, di ba? Related sa MMDA.
Kinahanglan ba, sir, nga i-create pa ang law para mapurma ang isa ka water district? Let's say, for example, for Misamis Oriental, walay nag-initiate to create
Dili.
district.
Dili man na ang balaod. Ang source ang balaod is PD 198 as amended. Pero ang pag-organize ang resolution
Sa LGU.
sa legislative body. Oo, sa LGU. Pero pwede panalitan, Taguluan. Pwede niyang i-appeal sa iyang water district ang Villanueva or even Claveria, no? Pero depende na kung musugot sa sila. Musugot sila, no? In the case of Cagayan, for instance, isulti si Engineer Jong, ang UPOL later wanted to join the water district, the Cagayan de Oro Water District. Would you like to tell us about that?
Yeah, so at one time in the past, kanang ang UPOL, the municipality of UPOL passed a resolution annexing UPOL to the Cagayan de Oro Water District. So UPOL now is being served by Cagayan de Oro Water District. Yeah.
Is there na may instance, sir, nga pwede mag-overlap ang isa ka water district sa lain pod nga jurisdiction? Let's say, naiupol na apoy ilahadaan so duha na ka water district dito. Pwede ba ingon na? Or exclusive siya to one district?
Yeah, exclusive siya to one district. Kaya na may water districts are supervised and regulated by local water utilities administration. So LUA does not allow things like that. So kung pananglitan, like in the case of Misamis Occidental Water District, nagkuanto kanang dunay kato Bali. It's supposed to be a province-wide water district. So nag-de-annex ang Oroquieta. So Oroquieta became a separate water district and so nahimo siyang Oroquieta City Water District. Kunya ang nabilin nga Osamis Water District plus some smaller towns nearby became the Metro Osamis Water District. So dili gid pwede nga kanang unsay tawag kanang maghimo og lain nga water district ang Oroquieta, but then kung unsay existing didto nga water district, if necessary, i-de-annex.
There cannot be two districts in one place, although there can be two places in one district.
Oh, yes. Covered niya doon.
2 or more places in one district. Naikuan din ni gwapo nga provision. Nothing in the resolution or formation, nothing in the resolution of formation shall state or infer that the local legislative body has the power to dissolve, alter, or affect the district beyond that specifically provided for in this act. No? So, katong dissolution. Okay, eventually, dissolution is also possible, no? Pero, who has, how is the dissolution initiated?
If it comes to that, then it has to originate by virtue of a resolution by the governing board
Okay.
of the water district.
The water district
The
itself.
water district, subject to...
Not the local legislative authority.
No, not sir.
Okay. Yeah,
Subject to confirmation by the administration, by the local...
by the LUA. Oo. Kaya ako'y ako'y nabasa na sil. Yeah. So dili ang political subdivision.
Dili, sir.
Pero ang appointing authority,
Mura na ang role sa local chief executive to appoint. And then, ang iyang i-appoint nga director has a term of 6 years.
6 years.
Sunod, 5 ang members of the board, and each is supposed to represent a sector. So, na ay proseso sad sa appointment. You cannot appoint anyone from out of thin air. You have to rely, ang appointing power will have to wait for the nomination coming from the water district. So, di ka pwede mamili nga, una akong gustuhan, I insist nga kini. Is that correct?
Yeah, yes, sir. Actually, the board of directors of a water district is composed of 5 persons coming from 5 different sectors: education, business, civic, women, and business sectors. So, kani nga mga sectors, dunay mga various organizations belonging to a sector. Pananglitan, for example, business. So, naay mga recognized business organizations in the city. So, dili pod pwede nga kanang organization nga kanang ibutang tag hinimo-himo for the purpose of coming up with or getting a nomination. So, doon na sad siya list of recognized business.
okay.
Na siya. So, katong mga business organizations that are recognized in the city are asked to nominate somebody from their organization to become a member of the board. So, from among the nominees, the local chief executive, the city mayor, appoints somebody from the list. So, dili pwede nga unsay tawag ani kanang anybody who is interested applies for the position. Kinahanglan you will be nominated by the organization you belong to. So, kana siya is an important aspect of the nomination process.
Yeah.
Or of the appointment process. Pero ang appointing authority is the chief executive. So dili pod ma-question ang iyang sa tawagan
Choice.
prerogative,
Oo.
iyang choice. So wala po'y maka-question kung unsa ang iyang process
Fixed term na siya, sir.
6 years for 6
6 years,
years.
and that's fixed.
Yeah.
Diya ang kwan, chapter 10, section 44, dissolution. A district may be dissolved by resolution of its board of directors, filed in the manner of filing the resolution forming the district. So kung giunsa nimo pag-organize, mo sa nang imong pag-dissolve. Provided, however, adoption of any such resolution, another public entity has acquired the assets of the district and has assumed all the obligations and liabilities attached thereto. So, dili pwedeng naay hayatos. So, mag-dissolve ka, naay mutamok sa imong assets, sa imong liabilities, etc. And all bondholders have been notified and they consent kung ay mga obligations. And then a court of competent jurisdiction has found that said transfer are in the best interest of the public. So naagid ay approval pagyapon sa korte.
Okay, sir.
Oo, pero ang kuan diya, ang trigger diya, ang resolution of the board of directors. I guess ang kuan diya, Sel, is ang political subdivision, say ang munisipyo or ang city or ang province, while ang legislative authority is the trigger of the formation of the water district, dili niya pwede hilabtan ang water district. Kung kunyari, na ay political issues, di niya pwede i-dissolve. Kaya ang dissolution is an act that should be triggered by the board of directors.
Yeah.
Was there ever an instance in the past, sir, for the last 50 years nga na ay attempt to dissolve the water district?
I have not heard of any.
Di na mawala. Kaya yan ang mga away-away sa politika.
Yeah.
Pero wala na siguro ta kay balo. No? Pero kining mga, by the way, kining mga conflict diha, who has jurisdiction to resolve these conflicts? Ang luwa ba or ang regular courts?
Luwa. Luwa gyud kay I don't know. It would not involve unless it involves a criminal liability tingali, sir. Pero for example, there was a controversy in a big water district in the Philippines, in the Visayas, and do na to'y kanang different interpretations of PD 198. And so it happened that the incoming mayor appointed a new set of directors, and all these were settled at the local water utilities administration.
Yeah, okay.
So LUA came out with a resolution of the controversy, and mao po'y gisunod by all parties concerned. So
Okay, sure. Yeah.
By the way, sir, ang water district ba is also governed under sa Commission on Audit? Ma-audit siya sa
yeah.
Morning kan, power sa luwa. Kaning sa regulatory siguro sila, no? The administration shall have the power and duty to establish standards for local water utilities and adopt rules and regulations for the enforcement thereof. The administration shall vigorously consult and coordinate its actions with all government agencies active in the areas of public works and all other concerned agencies in the promulgation of these standards. Said standards and regulations shall include the following: water quality, design and construction, equipment, materials, operations and maintenance, personnel, organization, accounting. Pero ang real role sa LUA, actually when under the PD 198, of course the regulatory body over water districts, and that includes fixing the rates.
Fixing the rates, yeah.
Fixing the rates, water rates. Now, aside from that, na atong technical, mo ba ito ang reason for the formation of the issuance of the decree para matagaan og technical support, advisory support ang mga water districts, no? And then financing.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So, ang three main roles sa LUA, regulation, technical support and advice, and financing. Yeah. Naapa ba'y role ang LUA outside of these three? Although, kiligid ang tulo, no?
Sir. Yeah.
Pero over time, over the last 50 years, what can you say about these three roles, Engineer Jong?
Yeah. Una sa technical, when I started out in the water district in the early 80s, makwinta atong edad ani.
80s pa pala
Oh, yeah, so kuanto strong kayo ang technical support sa LUA. I mean, they have an engineering and construction department in LUA. They have a mga well drilling capabilities that really go out into water districts and drill wells for water districts. Over time, that became less and less until, well, to a great extent, only technical advices are given by LUA. And financial, LUA is the primary source of financing for water districts. However, its capitalization stagnated from the time of PD 198. I can remember of only one instance specifically when its capitalization was increased. However, after that, it has stagnated. And so its capability for sourcing funds from the General Appropriations Act is no longer enough to fund the financing needs of water districts throughout the country. For example, a financing need of in the vicinity of 1 billion pesos is beyond the capacity of LUA nowadays. And what is 1 billion? It's not even enough to supply the financing needs, for example, of Metro Cebu Water District or even Cagayan de Oro City Water District.
So, pila na ba ka-water districts karon, Engineer Jong?
Active water districts, easily 500.
500. Pero ang mga big cities and big municipalities all have water districts.
Yeah, yes sir.
Oo.
Yeah.
I-exclude mo na lang Metro Manila.
Metro Manila. Yeah.
Exclude mo na lang, no? So, now, kining sa financing, kay that was precisely the PD 198 was issued for the three main reasons para matabangan ang mga probinsya sa pag-put up sa water districts, technical, financial and regulatory. Now, pero yun nga ang nahitabo over time, ang sa financial, ang original capital was 2.5 billion in 1973. Now, based on our preliminary studies, there was an attempt ni Senator Loren Legarda to increase the capital from 2.5 to 25 billion. There was that increase, no? And then, pati ang borrowing capacity sa LUA, gi-increase po niya, both foreign currency and pesos, no? Unfortunately, that measure did not pass. Wala mag-pass, no? So, meantime, ang LUA, unsa pa ang iyang funding borrowings ra gyud. And I don't know kung na ay support under the GAA sa LUA.
Naghihapon sir, pero
dili
limited. Dili dinagko. And then, some of these funds are coursed through DPWH. So, but then, DPWH pud ang mo decide adto and implementing pananglitan ng LUA. But then, most are gikan sa General Appropriations Act or borrowings from ADB or the World Bank. Doon na po'y gatawgon nila og kanang internally generated funds katong mga loans nga utang sa water districts in the past.
O kanang mga fees siguro.
And the water districts are paying it principal plus interest
sa LUA.
Sa LUA. And so kaning ilang ka-generate nga income from this are plowed back to for borrowings. Pero gamay na lang. I mean, even if you have a billion pesos outstanding loan portfolio na ay ibutang tag di ko kabalo kung pero at one point it reached more than 10%, pero ibutang tanang para sa yan kwintahon 10% nga annual interest, so sa 1 billion 100 million lang to.
Yeah, yeah.
Ang ilang ma-internally generated funds. So, i-plow back na nila.
So, ang interest, dili pa na full payment.
Dili pa na full. No? So,
Diminishing balance pa siguro.
yeah.
So, ang kuan karon, unsay alternative course of action sa water district kung kinahanglan niya ang kuan magod kining both expansion and kanang operating expenses, no? Katong itong wording ganina, katong kuan kayo mga problema. Key element of existing systems are deteriorating faster than they are being maintained or replaced, no? Now, so, unsay alternative sources of funding sa water district and operating revenues?
Yeah.
Igo-igo naman gid na isweldo.
Kuan kaning isa ana is kanang surplus from operations which as you said dili kay siya dako. Pananglitan it would be I should say exorbitant na kung maabot og in the hundreds of millions ang net income sa isa ka water district per year. So murag di na mo sugot ang luwa na nga ingana imong water rates. So anyway, ang isa gid sir is kanig yung borrowing from a water district from another bank outside of LUA.
Okay.
Pwede mo hulam pero subject to the approval of the LUA. So kung pananglitan ang Cagayan de Oro City Water District has a particular project, kinahanglan og funding, it can apply to, for example, DBP or Land Bank, pananglitan. But before that can happen, doon na po'y approval sa Local Water Utilities Administration. Unya, and then when there is that approval, we go through approval by the bank itself. Usahay maabot pa na sa, kung government bank especially, maabot pa na sa monetary board ba na? I'm not sure kung singalan na sa central bank.
Well, dapat na sa board of the bank, no? Pero siyempre depende sa kuan, depende sa amount, no? Kung dako kay nga amount, wow, chances are kung dako kay amount, syndicated loan na siya. So you have Land Bank, DBP participating. Na ang problema lagi karon kay pwede ba ang luwa mo hulam from non-government banks?
The way I see
Ang water district.
Ang water district? I'm not sure kung naay provision nga ingon ana, pero unsay tawag ani ka ng I don't see naay limitation, pero wala lang gay a window for a water district to go to a private bank. Kasi ang iyang mga bangko limited man po sa government banks. I think I've read it somewhere.
If I may, sir, can a local government render support to a water district in terms of financing? Not only LGUs, but what about congressional funds? Pwede?
Congressional funds, well, the way I understand it, kung ana siya kaning, these are actually given in the form of one-time grants through a specific project by a pananglitan by in a particular congressional district. So ingon na siya. I have not heard of a congressional fund nga i-reimburse or i-repay sa isa ka water district. But well,
Akong tanaw, tung una, kay kini manggong, you're referring to ng mga pork barrel funds, no? Again, initiatives, insertions, you have various names, pero generally, these are pork barrel funds. Although, of course, ang rules sa pork barrel funds have somehow been defined. There were attempts in the past to define, no, on the part of the Supreme Court, no. Pero generally, karon medyo liberal ang kuan, no, ang allocation. Yan to sell sa among time, ang pwede nimo magamit imong pork barrel funds for hard projects. Dili pwede sa soft projects. Now, by hard projects, dalan, etc. No?
Infrastructure.
Infrastructure. Now, pero karon pwede na kayo. Pwede na kayo. Akong tanaw, actually, probably it's now happening already. Nga naay allocations na i-download sa water district. Ako tanaw, it's possible or it may now actually already is happening. Kay ang water district is government.
Yeah.
Government pa ng water district, subject to COA, subject sa civil service. Although when it was established, exempt pa sa civil service, exempt pa sa COA. Pero may mga amendments na that gikwangit siya sa government agency or GOCC at the very least. So, government-owned or controlled corporation. So, ako tanaw na ay
Pwede.
strong chance nga pwede ang water district mahimong ma-download ang congressional funds, no? Pagitaan nagpagi. Worst case, kung dili, i-assume na ito nga dili, pwede man dito sa DPWH ang pundo. Sunod, ang implementor sa project, pwede ang water district. Or pwede sad ang DPWH mag-implement, pero with the technical advice of the water district. Pwede. It can be done. Kung gusto gini mo buhaton, mapangitaan, magpagi.
What about LGU, sir? Pwede.
Yeah.
Walay prohibition. In fact, I looked into that and 2021, I made the decision na kinakita ko magyod na di gid makaya sa water district by itself. Di gid makaya. So, kinahanglan og financial support. Kung magpaabot sa luwa, by the time nga ma-approve na ang cost of materials na times 3 na, times 10 na. Kung bank borrowing sad na, again, the process is too long, no? By the time ma-approve, times 10 na po ang cost of materials. So, I was already on my last and final term. So, I made the decision nga I would set aside 500 million para sa water district. Pero kinahanglan to og budget. Mo tong gi-appeal nako sa proposed budget for 2022.
2020, sir.
For 2020
2020.
2020.
proposed budget. Pero na-approve to siya 2020 ba?
2020, sir.
Or 2022?
Di, kuha na, sir.
Late na.
COVID naman tong 2022. So,
Oo.
2020 to. Murag 2020.
Oo. Pero ang problema ato kay ang budget na approve,
Okay.
DBM dito na mas March.
Okay.
2022 to. Kaya mo lagi to, last, kuha na nako, kinahanglan gyud buhaton. Na ang DBM mo approve sa budget dito naman na sa March.
Okay.
Sunod, by February, election ban na. So, di gini mo ma-implement. Motong ako ato, I was hoping nga i-implement sa ni Clarex. In fact, I told him when na ay 500 million. Kaya tuyo na ko dito was tagaag padalan og tubig ang Indahag og Balubal. Mamagid ang pangutana ko man silang Engineer Jong, kaya ba ang tubig mosaka sa Indahag o Balubal? Na ang ilang advice nga dili kinahanglan gina-pump. And then naa pa si gisingit, I remember this, ang problema nato sa NonRevenue Water. Ang unang barangay niyang isampit, Makabalan. I remember that very distinctly. That's another issue. Kulang ka ini, isa ka oras, kulang ka ini. But anyway, katong 500 billion, ang akong plano ato, ang city, ipautang ka na sa water district. ipautang sa water district. And in fact, I was prepared that that loan will be interest-free. Di na maningil sa interest. Basta bayaran lang ang 500 million over after 5 years, 6 years, ana. Basta pwedeng interest-free. Kaya I was already contented in my mind nga ang increase sa prices sa land and all that, increase sa real estate taxes, increase sa collection sa business taxes would be far greater to compensate for the loss sa interest income. Umunod itong akong kuhaan na anugon, wala ma-implement. Pero anyway, ato lang i-concern kining non-revenue water.
In Bisaya, or in simply put, sir, what is non-revenue water? I mean, people have been hearing about it, and every time na discussions about the water district, common kayo na tumadunggan ng non-revenue water, but di nato matugkad kung unsa gyud nino for common people.
Sa terminology sa sa power utilities, which is more commonly used, it's called systems loss. Pero in the water industry, in the water districts, any water that is produced by a water district that does not redound into revenues for the water district is NRW. Some of this is loss. Some of this is, operational necessities like pananglitan during sa repair sa isa ka main line, flashing ka man gid na pagkahuman kay lisod man kung turbid kayo ang tubig nga maabot sa kabalayan, so mo iyon may ay sa gamita kay mag-flashing pa mi na ipaagi sa mga fire hydrants kato siya appeal to non-revenue kanang mga tubig nga gagamiton sa water district for its buildings na daghan-daghan man pod. So non-revenue na siya.
But pasabot, sir, tubig nga inyong giproduce pero walay income ang water district.
Kanang sa water, kanang sa fire,
kanang sa firefighting non-revenue gyapon na. Amo lang gay account na aron makita na mo kung pila ang loss, pila ang kanang unavoidable nga loss lugar o pila sad ang avoidable nga loss. Pero admittedly taas gyud ang loss, water loss lugar sa water district sa pagkakaron. When I left the water district, it was in the vicinity of mga 50%. So 50% sa tubig nga na-produce sa water district did not amount or did not redound to any revenue.
Yeah. Pero ang unsa gyud ang main causes sa non-revenue water?
Yeah, kuan gyud.
Aside from those
mga necessary, unavoidable.
Unavoidable.
Ang main cause gyud is water loss through leakages, dilapidated pipelines, kaning mga naapoy mga due to instrument inaccuracies, naapo na substantial po na siya, o kaning unfortunately pilferage. Now kanang nga mga causes, I'm sure na study ang water district ana, pero daghan pud ana tungod kay karaan ng mga linya sa water district. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Pila ka percent, engineer, ang lost because of how would you call
leakages,
them?
may ngana.
Mga leakages. Tungod sa ang linya defective or karaan na kayo, nabuto, etc.
It's an old study that I can remember. Easily, kanang kung moingon tag na ay ibutang ta 50% nga NRW sa kanang 50, 30 ana due to leakages.
Dako sa diay.
Dako sa diay.
Doon ay usa ka information cell nga kuan ako no from Engineer Jong. Kay sometime in 2006, 2007 gisulod ang water district sa kontrata with Rio Verde. So, for the first time, na well, that was a huge addition sa water supply sa water district. Pila to
40,000 cubic meters.
40,000 cubic meters. Now before that, pila man ang volume sa tubig sa water district?
Kuan, basta kay pagsulod adto ang percentage sa supply by Rio Verde amounted to mga 30%.
30% of the total. So, times 3 na lang. So, 120,000, 130, diha. No? So, nadulangan 40. Munang 30% na kanang 40 sa total water supply. Groundwater ang 70%, no? Na dito sa dugan sa Rio Verde, gisaka ang non-revenue water.
Yeah.
Muna ang data that gigawas, no? Muna ang utana ka, ganun gisaka man. If bisinoon nga naidugang tubig, gisaka man ang atong non-revenue water.
Yeah. So, kuan ang hinungdan ato, sir, kaning ang Rio Verde came in at an elevation of 170 meters above sea level. So, naani siya, ang entry point is dito sa near the old Lumbia Airport. So, kana siya nga pressure, mo nag-impact dito sa atong system sa ubos. So, taas ka na siya nga head pressure, I should say. So, tungod ana, ang katong leakages that were already existing, pero tungod kay gamay ang pressure in the system overall, kuan gyud directly proportional ginang leakage sa pressure.
Yeah.
So pagsaka adto nikusog sad ang volume sa
Gidako ang bangad. Gidako ang bangad. Kay grabe man ang tubig nga nabuhos. Amo nang gigawas, gisaka ang atong non-revenue water.
Yeah.
Now, you might ask, Sel, anong nagdugang po man tag tubig? Daghan pa man gyapon atong non-revenue water. Munang kuan na sila sa water district were debating on what to do. Of course, nakasulod na diya ang JICA, nakasulod na USAID with all the expert advice, no? And then, also inyong resolution ato, Engineer Jong.
Yeah. Kung nakita na mo nga ang reduction sa non-revenue water at best efforts, kind of pinaka-best efforts of a water utility from the experience not of us, but from the experience of Pananglitan, Manila Water, o sa Maynilad, o bigger water districts like Metro Cebu, Davao, yun sila nga. The best efforts that you can give will reduce your NRW by 2% per year. Yeah. Kato nga panahon kay the need for water is greater than 2% annually. I mean, the development of Cagayan de Oro City, Pananglitan would require an addition of water greater than 2%. So nakitaan nga it's a bitter pill to swallow, pero ato ning iduga nga pressure, our NRW will increase, but then let's parallel that with an NRW reduction project. Aron dungan sila, dili kay mag NRW reduction project ka niya when you're satisfied ka magdugang. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but then we believe that the provision of water service is still paramount.
Correct.
Rather than just the technical
ang
problems.
Ako tanaw katong bulk water supply that the water district envisaged. Salamat sa Rio Verde nga nag-invest sila. Kay kuan man to, it was a PPP project, no? There was no way nga ang water district could do it itself.
Yes, sir.
More than 1 billion funding, kinahanglan gina PPP, no? To be able to do it that fast. Kay daghan man gud diha Consel, number 1, ang groundwater di gud maayong source sa tubig.
It has to be surface water.
Dapat surface water gid ato target, no?
Environmentally
correct. Oo. muunlod ang imong area, sunod mamala, sunod ang sanitation, kay masagol man ang imong tubig o hugaw dito sa ilalom sa yuta, no? So, katong bulk water supply, I think, was something that was really needed and very strategic for the city. In fact, ang Davao, bago lang sila.
Bago lang, sir. Yeah.
Bago lang sila, sir. So, tanawa gani, after 20 years, after more than 20 years, ang Davao last week lang. Pero ang problema, nagkabuhol-buhol. Nagkabuhol-buhol. Doon na to'y audit findings, questioning the contract and questioning even the validity of the contract. So here they were, ang Water District and Rio Verde, caught in a bind with the COA finding na pagani kaso sa Digan Bayan, ang Water District karon cannot ask for greater volume. Kaya naman ay scheduled increase every 3 years ba na or 2 years.
Oh, at that time, 3 years. Every
3 years. Dili mo increase. Ang Rio Verde Sub, dili sa nila ma-adjust ang rate. Inamagya po adjustment na every 3 years, no? So they were stuck dito sa original term, 40,000 and a price of how much?
1045.
1045. They were stuck with those two figures for almost 10 years. Now imagine that, ikaw ang water district, ang imong demand sa tubig increasing, sunod ang imong non-revenue water also increased because of the sudden addition of volume. Sunod, ang Rio Verde Sub, gasto ka na o more than $1 billion, sunod, you're earning only so little from that. Medyo bukat dito kayo. Bukat good. So, nahitabo, and then, naapatong COA, i-disallow sa COA. I-disallow sa COA ang bayad sa Water District.
Yeah.
Sunod, ang members of the board were sued sa Sandigan Bayan.
Yeah.
Bukat kito kayo. Would you like to...
Yeah, dunay duha ka controversies ato. The first is, as you said kaganina, sir, is the validity of the contract, because ingon ang COA, when they look into the documents, that the award of the project was not valid. Ila man ang prerogative. Ikaduha is that the contents or the actual contract that was signed was not the contract that was advertised during the tendering of the project. Ingon sila nga, what you advertised cannot be changed. So, tungod adto nga duha ka findings, ang una nila nga action was to disallow the payments made by the Water District to Rio Verde. Ang meaning anang disallowance is that all those involved in the disbursement of the funds, government funds man to, are held personally liable. So, ultimo ang nag-prepare sa voucher, ang nag-approve sa voucher, ang nagperma sa cheque. So, kana sila nga mga personalities in the Water District. Aside from that, dunay cases that were filed by the Office of the Ombudsman before the Sandigan Bayan. So, kani karon criminal na nga aspect because of the act of making the award to Rio Verde.
Na munang cancel, stalemate. They could not move from 2007. In fact, kanang entry sa Metro Pacific, kay kana nga discussion, in fact, I think preceded my, taon-taon na siya.
Yeah, oo.
Even before I became mayor,
yes, sir.
istorya naman mo, anak. Istorya naman sila, anak. Pero na, I think that was agreed, finalized sometime 2017, no?
Yeah.
Na unang, ang ako ganing tanaw, pagsulod sa Metro Pacific, that was in the world of banking and finance, Metro Pacific was the white knight. It was the white knight. Kaya iyang na-solve ang problema by buying out Rio Verde and now coming into the picture dealing with the water district, no? So ako tanaw ko ang kayo, no? Kung wala sila makasulod, I don't know kung asa paingon ang water district at Rio Verde, Engineer Jong.
At that time, what I remember was that Rio Verde already indicated through a formal
Cessation.
notice that they will cease from operating their plant because of losses.
And
So
that
yun
would
na
have
to.
been that would have been catastrophic. Di ba? Kaya mawala imong
40,000
40,000
cubic meters. So,
Wow.
kana siya ang scenario adto. So, around that time, kato, Metro Pac Water, MWIC man sir, pero marag sister company man sila, came in and submitted an unsolicited proposal for a bulk water supply project for the water district.
Oo.
So, mulugar na siya ang
In the meantime, iyang gipalit ang Rio Verde. Or I don't know kung siya gipalit ang shares or ang assets ba. I don't know.
There's a question here, sir, from Sharina. Hi, ma'am. Sharina Cabaraba and
Uy,
Domingo.
Sharina.
Hi. Is it more recommendable for the water district to be privatized? Or in the case of Cagayan de Oro Water District, might it be better to be privatized?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for my part, I would not really hold or block something that would benefit public service.
Yeah,
I mean, if it is for the benefit of increasing, well, technical mong ko sir,
Yeah.
increasing water pressure in the city and
Yeah.
promote kanang maintaining water quality, I'm for it. However, my experience shows that PD 198 is the best vehicle. Well, my knowledge may be limited. Is a very good vehicle for providing water supply in a city. So, like I said, if the private sector can give a very good argument, then why not discuss it? Why not put it on the table and discuss it openly, for example, intelligently, and something like that.
Sa ako, diha, I think eventually, privatization is the answer. Not because I want it to be privatized, but because I don't think the government can fill in the gap. No, dili kaya sa national government to recapitalize LUA. Karon gani naakanay Marlica, no, and then it's very unfortunate the national budget has been increasing every year. Karon 5.7 trillion pesos, and yet ang LUA is not in the radar. Muna'y problema na ako. The intention of PD 198 was very good at the time, perfect. Even now, that intention is still perfect. Unfortunately, ang problema is, where's the meat? Asa ang laman? Lugar, ang technical, nawala na. Ang advisory, minus na. Ang financing. Sa ako, in fact, ang classic example sa water district, ang Cagayan de Oro Water District. That was the first water district that was formed in the country. And I don't want that to fail. Pero muning nahitabo karon, dili ang non-revenue water is gapaningkamot siya nga ma-solve, pero until the lines are replaced, that non-revenue water will keep on disturbing the water district. And then, kana silang ilang capacity to increase the rate. Namo na karon problema kay istorya na ko si Engineer Jong. For the first time in the life of the water district, nag-net loss sila for 2 years during the COVID pandemic. Tama ba yun, Engineer Jong?
Yes, sir.
For the first time. In other words, it's 74. From the very beginning, Mayo, mas dako ilang kita operating revenues versus operating costs. Dako ilang kita. So, operating gain sila. Net gain. Diha sa costs and revenues. Pero ang question karon, what about expansions? Mo na. So, ang ilang expansion over these 50 years had been funded by surplus income.
Oh, yes, sir.
Surplus. And then siguro na ibaruing sa luwa.
Naibaroy.
Oo.
Ginagmay.
After
katong initial.
anugon kayo. Lugar, ako yun, Sel, ako very passionate about this, no? Kay ang water district should, even to this day, be the model of a water district sa kasyudad. That was our crown jewel before. Ako na ng problema karon. Now, so privatization should still be, pero mas maayo sa privatization, kana mag-go privatization, you invite a private sector to take over. Kana lugar ang kuan, take over or to take part. Now, pwedeng take part, etc. Pero mag-take over, kung mag-take, na ay pricing issue diha. How much would be the price for the private sector to come in? Now, siyempre, kung ikaw ang enterprise, gusto mo, okay, when the private sector comes in, my price should be at its highest possible price. I don't want to sell at a bargain. So, ako, di pa kid kaya. Ay, saligan ako ng luwa, unless na ay changes karon sa kuan nga pwede na ang land bank or moingon si President Bongbong ang Marlica 10% diha para sa water districts. Wa pakpak ko diha. Kinahanglan mo na to sa water. Pero ang problema sad, not all water districts are similarly situated. Idaghan man po diyan, pareho na sa electric cooperative. Na ay mga electric cooperatives nga maayo, nasa yung mga electric cooperatives nga mga maluya. So, privatization, eventually, yes. But, maningkamot yun dapat ang entity to obtain the best price possible.
Yeah.
Now, how do you succeed? How are you able to do that? By fixing it
First.
Fixing it first.
Yeah. Now, sir, given the rate of Cagayan de Oro Water District now and the rapid developments in the city, mga pila pa katuig where makaingon ta nga kaya pa sa water district to serve the Cagayanons efficiently?
Well, isa sa realities that confronts the water district now is katong giingon ni Sir kaganina regarding the adjustment or the increase of the water rates. Lifeblood man gyud sa water districts, isa ka water district ang revenues. And if that can be addressed, then the water district will be sustainable. Will be, with certain caveats. Resulti ni mo ganina, sir. But then, admittedly, kanang ang capacity sa water district to finance its own capital expenditures, limitado kayo kay bisan ibutang nato, it has access to DBP, pananglitan. But then that access is limited by our own capacity to pay. So, tanaw na sa dang imong financial standings, and so of course,
Yung taasin mo ng revenue water,
non-revenue
dikil.
water. So, limited yun ang imong access to funds. Of course, unlike the private sector, which has, well, I should say, ibutang ta better access than a water district. Makaadto man sila private banks. And doon ay facility for the water district. As far as I know, are only two, kaning DBP o Land Bank. And of course, di man po ni sila unlimited ang ilang allocations for a particular water district. Limited man po by the water district itself. So kana siyang ibutang ta isa ka big step to hurdle to become a sustainable water district.
Yeah.
So katong giingon ni Attorney Moreno earlier regarding the net loss that we have experienced during the time of COVID. Tinuod to siya, no, ang among revenues adto decreased substantially. Pananglitan ang among reduction sa collection. Dako ang pagkunod ato, sir. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, ni reduced by about on an average of 7 million a month. Ang cash nga ka-collect na mo. Nya coupled with a reduction pagyud sa kanang gakabil kanang revenues na mo, sir, ba? So doon na po reduction yung mga
Consumption.
4 million a month. So, ang among gakahatag nga bill sa customer ni-reduce by 4 million, ang among collection ni-reduce by 7 million a month. So, unsa may imong lantawon nga when things become better, unsa may imong lantawon nga increase in your collections, kay imong revenues ni kunhod man. So, we were anticipating, I mean, well, admittedly, nobody knew that COVID would be like that. We thought in the beginning, kanang 3 months rato at most.
Lagi.
But then, and so, kanang doon na pag yung mga regulatory nga pronouncements ang national government mandating water districts not to impose penalty charges on those who didn't pay. So, cut off to tanan, not to disconnect for non-payment. Ingon na. So, wala. I mean, those two particular issuances, una, well, we responded to it. I mean, we are a government entity. Pero pag abot sa mga 1 year, mura nagkanang I don't know, the people have stopped paying. Well, di man sabi nga fully stop paying, pero kung daghan yun ang
nagpaltar.
Nagpaltar sa
mga
payments.
receivables.
So, and we thought that 2020 was a bad year. 2021 mas labaw pa. Dito mas dako ang reduction sa revenues. So we were anticipating pag abot kita is 2022, we will feel the brunt of this.
So, are there aggressive measures undertaken at present to address these issues, sir?
We have been proposing a water rates adjustment nga atong gi put forward to LUA before the elections pa. Actually, we're starting to talk about this. But then, ang isa ka water rates adjustment has to go through a set of processes na by practice agi sa City Council nya go through a public hearing. We have not gone through the public hearing yet on ang final approval sa LUA. So, isa lugar na sa tan-awon sa water district karon. Ikaduha sa kaning non-revenue water reduction, which is a major cause of our losses po, is being addressed by an NRW reduction project. Una, nagsugod ang assistance ani with JICA. Doon na to a study that was conducted for us by JICA.
Itong B-Secure, di ba?
Sunod din sa B-Secure project sa USA.
USAID.
Ito siya, dako to, it has allowed us to put up a
Naapatong European group.
Naapa ang Vitens Evides, sir, ang VEI. Currently, ongoing pagyapon ng among partnership with them. Isa sa major aspect is NRW reduction. So, kana sila. And karon, the project is going well. Of course, it's a slow process because ang NRW reduction is by its nature, hinay gyud ang kwan kay. I mean, the pipelines are all buried underground, so detecting these leakages is a difficult process.
Wow.
Sistema na, we're going through it. Replacement of water meters, replacement of pipelines selectively, pero the technical capabilities.
Pero karon si Engineer Jong is back to teaching.
Yes, sir.
After
retirement.
Wala pa magsapol sa Xavier.
Wala pa, sir.
Pero what you're teaching now is a master's,
Masters of Business
program.
Administration.
Oo.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
So, how do you find your
Ano ngayon, engagement.
Engagement. Ganahan ko sa teaching actually. It's sort of a passion for me, sir. Pero di man gyud well, it's not. I did not go into teaching for the financial rewards, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, si Mayor din.
Ako, ko tudlo para magbasa ko. Madlo ko mabungaw.
Yeah. Gana man magtudlo sa
Gana yun, gana yun. I agree.
Sir, not for the financial rewards.
Not for the financial rewards. Kung kanami mong tanawon, to be honest, you're paid for the number of hours that you're in front of your class.
Yeah.
Pero wala na kwenta ang preparation, pag-check sa papel.
Pag-study di mo, di ba?
Study.
Pero anyway,
Pero mas
reward
relax
sa
ka
mga-
karon. Mas relax ka.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Pero, Conveya, when he decided to call it quits, ako isang gihangyo to hang on. Hang on. Let's just keep it confidential.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Pero, Conveya, ang sa imong parting message, Engineer Jong, kay kining atong episode, I'm sure ma-access po ni sa, even after this
After the
date,
program.
no? Pwede ma-access. And I would strongly suggest nga dito sa, ma-recommend ninyo sa, dito sa wala karon mo view ni programa. Engineer Jong, please.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Una, I would like to thank Attorney Moreno and Maricel for inviting me to this program. And maybe as a parting word, I would just like to say that public service is, the provision of water service in particular, is a challenging task for any water district. But then, despite the challenges, the Cagayan de Oro City Water District over the years has always been up to the challenge. Even with the COVID-19 pandemic, I believe that we have responded well to the pandemic, to the challenges that came with it. Among the things that we have done in the water district, maybe you have not been familiar with it, is we have become resilient after Typhoon Sendong, Typhoon Vinta. Even if I'm no longer with the water district, I would like to assure you that the water district has the capability to come back into operations after a Sendong-like calamity within 3 days, which is what we have committed in our emergency plan. And so that came at a big cost with assistance from both USAID and Vitens Evides International. Our facilities are now above flood level, and the only thing that will hinder us is during a flooding incident, our facilities had to be turned off for safety reasons and then checked for any faults in the system, and we could in due time come back to operations, unlike during Typhoon Sendong or Typhoon Vinta, which rendered us nahunong ang operations for 18 days, and 11 days, respectively. So, yeah, despite the challenges, we assure you that we continue to be vigilant in our mandate. We are a part of government, and but then again, thank you very much for this opportunity.
Yeah. Attorney?
Yeah, salamat kayo. I'm supposed to give my takeaway at the end of the episode. And ang akong takeaway, Anisel, more than ever, I hope we realize na ang water district now is very, very important for the city, and not only for the city, even for the region. No? Kaya ang Cagayan de Oro is the convergent city and the flagship of the region. And I'm sure ang growth, economic growth and prosperity sa Cagayan de Oro, dako sad og tabang sa prosperity and growth sa the rest of our brothers din sa Rio. So, very crucial ang role sa water district. Very crucial. I cannot overemphasize that, no? And we want Cagayan de Oro not just to be competitive, not just to be the flagship, not just to be the best, but we want Cagayan de Oro to lead Northern Mindanao. And ang water district is very, very important. Without the water district, di kaya. Dili kaya sa Cagayan de Oro. And I hope our leaders would realize that. So, ang water district is not a political entity. And in fact, I'm glad we took up ganina itong how the water district was formed and then unsay role sa political subdivision, no? Actually, outside of the appointment sa board, wala. Pero, that does not mean that the LGU should not support the water district. No? Pareho na sa separation of powers. Co-equal branches. The executive, the legislative, judiciary, co-equal branches, separation of powers, system of checks and balances. They are independent of each other, but that does not mean that they cannot be interdependent. Independent sila from each other, but they should be interdependent. Ang executive would be nothing without the legislative and the judiciary. Ang legislative would be nothing without the judiciary and the executive. So, they are supposed to be independent, but they rely on each other for their independence. And I hope we realize that ang water district is key, strategic to Cagayan de Oro's growth, as well as to Cagayan de Oro's contribution to the region, to Mindanao, and to our country. Salamat kayo. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, thank you very much, Attorney, and of course, Engineer Jong, thank you for joining us this afternoon. And kaninyong tanan, daghan kayong salamat. Shout out ko lang kang Miss Ladel for helping us out earlier. Daghan salamat, ug may hapon kaninyong tanan.